the tuning. You know, that like people don't want to play the bass because that doesn't have any frets. How am I gonna know? You know, where's the note? And I have a video on that that explains how to find the notes and everything. You know, like here, usually the basses have. You always need some kind of wood here, so it's gonna be either on D or E flat, and then you're always gonna have some wood here. So usually this one is on. I'm talking about D with the first string. I should say the fifth. The fifth of the string is here on this one, and the seventh is right here. So that's, for me, that's like a little fret, you know. But you can watch that video. It's on one of my videos. I explain everything, and so don't fear that you're gonna play out of tune, because you can find the notes, and once you find them, also your hand gives you a clue. You know, like if you have this finger here, then you know that the octave is right there. So you get to a point that you. And another thing is that this bass, and any acoustic bass or violin or cello, any string instrument is not gonna be perfect tuning like frets. That's just what it is. It's been proven, you know, by people getting a note on one concert from Temperament or somebody, and if you keep that note, it's gonna be out of tune at a certain moment, you know. Out of tune, meaning out of place, doesn't mean that you're out of tune. Sometimes some notes you have to move a little bit, you know. That's called when Johann Sebastian Bach put everything, it's called Temperament. He divided everything equally so that you can play in any key. Before that, you used to tune to a different to a key, you know. So basically, the thirds. If you find B here, and you put it, and both of them are pretty much in tune, but when you play, they sound out of tune. If you make it smaller, you bring up the B, and they start to sound better. So when you play an instrument without frets, that's the whole point of playing without frets, so that you can have a more elastic tuning, and you follow your ear. So in other words, see, I didn't go into that note, but then you kind of like slide into it. You know, you find the notes. So at the beginning, you know, it's like learning a language. You know, if you know English and you want to learn Spanish, you have to start by learning Spanglish. You have to do a few words at a time. You gotta make mistakes. So it doesn't matter when you play out of tune on this bass, because you're always gonna be out of tune. No matter. Eddie Gomez is out of tune sometimes. Gary Carr is out of tune sometimes. There's only a few, you know, players that only play this, and they have such a good technique that you cannot tell when they're playing out of tune, because they're closer and closer and closer. But it's never gonna be perfect. You know, you can, if you go to the computer and you hear it and it sounds in tune, and then you go to the computer says it's flat by 2 cents or something like that. That doesn't matter. You gotta understand that close, when you're that close, it's gonna be okay. And if someone asks you to play this bass and they want you to tune perfectly, get out of there. You know, tell them, you know, call somebody else, because that's not gonna be. Don't look at the computer. You know, tell me if you hear it out of tune. Okay, we'll do it again or whatever. But don't start saying, oh, that's too out of tune, and you know, because I'm looking at the computer and it's telling me that it's 2 cents here, 3 cents up. if you want that perfect, then sit down and tune those notes by yourself. You know, sit down on the computer and work it out, or find somebody else, because this is not going to be perfect. And I'm sorry, but that's the truth. Now, are some guys closer to perfection? Yes, of course. John Patitucci, you know, Eddie Gomez, all of those guys, Gary Carr, they are very close, you know. But that doesn't mean that everybody's going to be close. And the more you practice, your hands are going to go to the right place. It's just memory, you know. And that's another mistake. Some people call it muscle memory. No, muscles don't have memory. Have you ever opened a memory in a muscle? I mean, it's not like does it have a chip there like a computer? No. Memory is brain memory, so don't call it muscle memory. But you know what I mean. It's just when you then you go. Then you find without looking. Yeah, according to how much you do it, how much technique you study, how do you study your scales, how do you study your arpeggios. The more you play, the more you're gonna find that. And the other excuse, or we could call it a caveat for not playing this bass is because it's too big. I mean, this bass is big and this is a small bass. And then how do you put it in your car? And then you got to carry an amp too because it's not loud enough. For that, I just have a hatchback car and I put my bass there. If not, you can even put it in the front. You turn it around. You put it with the head facing the floor, and you put it in the passenger seat, and it fits there. I had a Fiat a long time ago, but it was a small car, and it would fit there, no problem. So you can do that. So don't worry about the transportation. You're gonna find. And I remember, I even took this on the bus, to school, because I have the college is not that far. So I noticed that every time I got into the elevator, people would say, "Is that a cello?" And I would say, "No, it's a bass. It's an acoustic bass." Okay. And I got in, and somebody else, "Is that a cello?" No, it's not a cello. Okay. One day, I go to the bus, and the driver stopped me and says, "Why are you bringing that in here? That's too big, and I cannot let you in." And I said, "Okay, well, whatever." I took my car that day, But what I did is I called the boss, and I said, am I allowed to bring a cello on the bus? And they told me, "Well, yeah. If it's not rush hour, if it's not, if there's enough space, you can bring a cello." So from that day on, I play cello. So no more bass. And then if somebody asks me, yes, it's a cello. So anyway, that was a little anecdote that I wanted to tell you. A little funny thing. Well, funny for me, I don't know for you. And this is it. I'm just doing this quick video, and I haven't done videos. I gotta apologize because I am moving back to Puerto Rico. So soon I'll start making some new videos from Puerto Rico with musicians from Puerto Rico in the heat, and I'm taking this bass, so I'll be hopefully playing after this pandemic, after the virus is under control. We're gonna go back and do like normal concerts, hopefully. Otherwise, I don't know, I just have to sell ice cream on the street or something. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon from here or from Puerto Rico. Okay, bye.